Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have the cake slice box, but revisited and reworked into Imperial, into inches measurements for you. This was the original that I did for a soap maker who's actually now one of my downline, Kathy, and she wanted a metric version of it. So this is the one I did originally. So if you want a metric version, go back and have a look at that. It was filmed, oh God, probably about a month or so ago. And then the following day I did the tutorial on how to make the paper roses, but I've reworked it into Imperial because it has been much requested. So it's basically, it's very slightly taller, but otherwise the width is the same, as you can see there, and the length is the same. But I made it very slightly taller just because it was going to be too complicated to get into sort of 1/16 of inches and what have you. But it works in exactly the same way. It opens at the back. That's where you slide your soap or your cake slice or whatever you want to go inside it, but it's just an Imperial version. So my cardstock, and this is just a piece of scrap cardstock that I've got so you can see it better. It is a gloriously sunny day here, and I've got a great big window here that's shining down, and you know, other colours weren't working, so I've got scrap for you. It measures 11 inches by 7 inches, and the scoring is at 5/8 of an inch. So this is right over here on the left. 5/8 of an inch, 3 inches and 7 inches. And then we need to put a couple of little notches in. This is just so that we can do our diagonal, we can draw in our diagonal lines. So at 3 3/4 of an inch, just a little notch up there. Hopefully you can see that. Turn the cardstock over and do it again. And then oops, turning it, so we've got the short side at the top. The scoring comes at 2 1/4 all the way down, 4 3/4 all the way down, and then we're going to create the side closure flaps so that you put your adhesive onto. So at 1 3/4, just come down to this second score line. So we've got a shallow one here and a deeper one here. So it's 1 3/4 just down to there. And at 5 1/4, exactly the same. Rotate your cardstock round and again down to this horizontal at 1 3/4 and 5 1/4. So I'm going to move the scoring tool out of the way, draw in my lines and show you what to do from there. So with a ruler and a pencil, this little score line, this little notch we've put in here, we need to draw a diagonal line from there to the one that's closest to it in the top. So hopefully you can see that. Let me just lift this up. So this one here, this mark here to here. So just get my ruler in and a pencil. And then the same, we're going to come down. Whoops. This is why we do it in pencil, so you can rub it out. Actually, that's going to get cut off anyway. So this now creates the triangular top. Let me move that one and bring in the Imperial. So this is creating the triangular top. Same on the other side. Oops. Got my ruler today. And then what you need to do after that is cut off sections. So this little box here goes, and that one, all of this section here, get rid of all of that, all of this, oops, all of this and all of this. You need to snip off diagonals there and there, get rid of those. That's just because of how you close it, and you're going to be going against a diagonal line. And the same here. Oh, just broke my pencil. And here, get rid of those. And what you're left with is this. So as you can see, these are the little bits I've cut off, and there and there. Now, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to be doing random stamping. I'm sure there's probably a technical term for it. The original one I did, I just put a little band on it and kept it quite simple. This one I have stamped the cardstock. And this has been inspired by another of my downline, Sandy, who makes boxes for her soaps and not her soaps, for her candles and wax melts, and I was totally inspired by it. She makes the most beautiful boxes and she hand stamps the lot. So I'm just going to do some random stamping with the Flower Shop. Which one am I doing? This one down here. I've decided, it's this one I did in Crushed Curry. I'm going to use the same chevron ribbon, but it's in Pumpkin Pie. So I've got my ink in Pumpkin Pie, and I'm not very good at this random stamping. So I'm just literally going to stamp all over. This Pumpkin Pie is a beautiful colour. And you're sort of stamping off the edge of the page so it's not too perfect. Turn that around. There we go. Right, now to close it all up. So I folded, I want to burnish because this particular part here is going to be the back of the box, and because the cardstock's good quality, this is the Naturals White, it likes to open itself up. And obviously because we're dealing with very narrow angles here at this point where this section here is really narrow, you have to be quite precise with the folding. So do those. Right, and now for some gluing. Definitely use a liquid glue, use your Tombow, because you know you're not likely to going to get this perfectly lined up the first time, and actually I hopefully will be able to show you when you first close it you think, oh my goodness, it doesn't meet, it doesn't fix. You can see it looks too tall there, but if you pull the cardstock, and this is where I was saying the very precise angle here, if you pull it up so it meets here at the top, you know you will have a perfect close. Just trying to do this at a funny angle, and it will be perfectly lined up there. And then the same on the other side. Again, it looks like it doesn't fit, it's because we've got a slight gap there. Just pull it up, and it's quite tough cardstock, it's not going to tear or anything like that, and you'll get a nice sharp corner here. There we go, and then these bits just fold in, and it sits beautifully like that. I haven't left that glue to dry long enough, so it's going to pop itself open. But for the purposes of the video, we're not going to worry. Now, I've got the matching ribbon. This is the beautiful new chevron ribbon, and as I said before, in Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to use it as kind of a belly band that you slide off. So I want to keep the back around here. Oops. Stop popping open. And what I want to do is get enough ribbon so it overlaps, but only by a little bit. I lost my scissors. There they are. Because actually I'm not going to stick the ribbon to the box, I'm just going to stick the ribbon to itself. I'm losing everything today. Glue dots, there we go. A couple of those, and I'm going to put them on this top end. Got a third one, I think. Just there. And that will keep the ribbon in place, but it won't slide. Now I have put this round at the front, so as you can see this is where it closes, because actually I'm going to cover it up, and I've got, these are the bits that you would cut off when removing cardstock. These are the little bits on either side, and this is the top bit here, and actually I'm going to stamp onto these. I've lost my sentiment. Made with Love from the Kind and Cozy set. Completely the wrong block out, not a worry. Same Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to put this down onto this one here, and I'm going to punch that out. You know what, I haven't got my punches out. Excuse me a second, I'm going to have to leave. Oh, how can I get round here? There we go, modern label, and I'm going to try and get the decorative label without sticking my head in the view. There we go. Right, so the model label, pop that one out. Going to do some random stamping onto one of these. Because I'm going to cut out the backing for that with the decorative label. And then, while I've got my ink ready, 2 more of these flowers. Now, if you've watched my video about how to prep up your pansy punch, you need to have your little mark at the bottom so it punches out perfectly. So 2 of those, and punch those out with the pansy punch. This is where I try and punch with the wrong hand. So there we go, so nothing wasted. Lost my adhesives now. There we go. Right, so we have a dimensional on the back of that one, 2 on the back of this one, and let's layer these ones up. So that now will go over the front here and hide our little closure. And then these, I'm just going to curl it up, so all I'm going to do is snip down a little bit. Just so I can curl just ever so slightly. And then glue dots onto the back of this one. And into the middle here. I'm just going to offset it very slightly. Couple into the middle of this one. Pop that on top. And then I've got a button, and I'm going to pop that in the middle. This is actually, fortunately, it's pumpkin pie. Our Brights collection, it has, I think it's 6 different colours. So one of them, fortunately, is pumpkin pie, and I've got a tiny little bit of the stitched taffeta ribbon that I've tied in a knot and put it in the middle, and there is the Imperial version of our cake slice box. So that's the original, that's metric. It's popped itself open, and that's the Imperial version. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to know how to get hold of anything, just get in touch with me. I'll put my blog details down. I'll put the actual details to this project itself down as well, so you can go back and see all of the measurements again. So you know, if you've taken notes, brilliant. But if not, they'll all be there, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.